Greetings, beloved hearts of love. Mother Akasha greets you today from the central sun of our universe. For all those who are listening to my discourse, please know that I project to each of you a cosmic ray of divine love. May you be willing to receive this love. Allow it to enfold you. Allow my love to strengthen your heart and your feeling side of life. Let's take a deep breath. Beloveds, one cannot increase the light vibration in the outer self, the human self, in the absence of love. If you don't have the love vibration, then you are limited in how much light you can actually bring into your lives and your physical bodies. In my Tree of Life classes in the Radiant Rose Academy, my current theme I am addressing is the importance now for each of you who are awake and for those initiating your awakening is to cultivate an integrity of spiritual identity. You are ready for this. Today you have gained much greater knowledge, much greater illumination, and your light is growing in you from your individualized God presence. With this greater illumination, you have a more complete and comprehensive understanding of your identity. You understand that consciousness is the natural expression of the divine polarity of light and love, the divine polarity of the divine mind and heart of Mother, Father, God, and you have come to realize that each of you were always intended to be an individualization of the universal consciousness, the infinite I am, Mother, Father, God. As such, you realize today, each of you are to be an instrument of the source of your beingness, that being Mother, Father, God. As you have physical parents in the outer world, Mother, Father, God are your spiritual parents. You have come to understand that there is no judgment God. As divine instruments of Source, each of you have been given free will as to how you will express your consciousness and your divinity in this world. You have taken steps to clear yourselves of beliefs that have nothing to do with the truth. You are awakening to your true identity. And through your studies and meditations, you are restoring your divine and wonderful relationship with your source, thus opening the way for the divine consciousness, the higher consciousness, the highest consciousness of your source of beingness to flow once again through your individualized consciousness and into your lives and world. This is most excellent. Now, beloved hearts, what your lives and your world requires right now, in a world filled with storms, is that each of you awake, dedicate yourselves now to be the purest channel, instrument of divine consciousness. allowing that higher state of consciousness to once again flow back into your lives, due to what has been taught and accepted by the people of Earth. The people's own individual consciousness has been filled and charged with duality, limitation, and beliefs that have long limited the human experience in your lives on Earth. So as each of you seek that your lives once again be as intended, become whole, living channels of divine consciousness. And divine consciousness, realizing that it is composed of a cosmic polarity of light and love where there is no shadows. Yes, the light aspect is growing within you now, much greater than before. And much help is coming in from the angelic and ascended master realms to assist you, to expand the light of God that never fails in your minds and your lives. Again, I say, beloved hearts, this is most excellent. However, your inner and greater light can only grow and expand as your capacity for love grows and expands. And I speak not of human love that has its own frailties. I speak of divine love. I say, your awakening, your greater understanding of your true spiritual identity is wonderful. However, your inner and greater light can only grow and expand as your capacity for love grows and expands. So it is the love factor or aspect of divine consciousness that I wish to speak into today, along with the new understanding that during your great awakening, it is vital for each of you to cultivate now a greater integrity of your evolving spiritual identity. Cultivating this integrity will ensure that never again will you fall back into a fallen state of the altered ego consciousness. This integrity that I speak of is your conscience, the knowing of the right thing to do at all times, even when no one is watching. I ask each of you, by choice, to be conscious of the necessity now to cultivate a greater integrity of your spiritual identity. For this decision will ensure that you will never fall back into former states of lower and limited human consciousness. Rather, that you continue to expand back into your natural state of divine consciousness that is intended to come to each of you from your divine source of beingness. Beloved, to evolve now into higher states of consciousness where the beliefs and limitations of the outer world no longer show up in your world of experience. This requires you make a conscious choice to cultivate greater integrity of your spiritual identity. What does this require? This requires love. This requires that the divine love aspect of divine consciousness once again flow back into your lives, that it materializes in your multi-body system and flows out into your world of experience. Now, the problem here is that humans lost their ability to be rightful channels of divine love upon your planet. So as each of you study and come to meditate upon divine love, seek to be a channel of divine love, since this divine love has been absent in yourselves and in your worlds and in the world of humanity, you will have to create a means. You will have to create a platform for your return to divine love, to express in your lives and your worlds. Now, Akasha, of course, I realize that each of you has the ability to love, to generate love, express love, to receive love. However, most often, the love you express or receive is compromised by the beliefs held in the minds, or your capacity to love has been compromised by the very difficult experiences and traumas that may have occurred in your lives. So your love, your capacity to love, to generate love, to receive love, we see mostly as human love that can be happy and joyful and fulfilled in one moment, and then that love can be hurt and disappointed in another moment. Such is the nature of fragmented human consciousness. So I just bring this to your attention so that you know and accept that all duality in your consciousness, experience, and world has affected your capacity to love, to receive, and to generate love in your world. This is not so with divine love. Divine love comes from the highest source of your life, your beingness. Divine love is half of divine consciousness. Divine light is the other half. And this divine love that I speak of contains and retains its infinite perfection and power at all times. This was to be your natural divine inheritance. This was to be the kind of love that you would express and receive in your lives. However, the human consciousness of duality became an obstacle of what was to be your natural divine inheritance expressing through your lives. Beloved hearts, now in your awakening journey, your journey home to the truth and experience of who you truly are, it is time now, precious hearts, to think and contemplate and desire yourself return back to being wondrous channels and expressions of divine love in your lives and world. Once this divine love has come inside you, it will transform your mind, your hearts. It will transform the health of your physical bodies and transform your world of experience. This divine love will ensure that you are once again a being of divine conscience, that you have integrity, that you always know the right thing to do and have the strength and will to do it, even when no one is around. Certainly, it is in your meditations that I invite you to open to receive the flow of divine love once again from Heavenly Mother, Father, God, who are within you and around you. Receive that flow of divine love once again pouring into your individualized consciousness. And I would urge you for the rest of this year to dedicate your daily meditations, which I hope are 2 to 3 meditations a day, that you will dedicate your meditations to receiving an unbroken flow of divine love into your individualized consciousness during the silence aspect of your meditations. Now you have found a way for that divine love to make its way into your mind, your heart, your body, and out into your world of experience and relationships. You have found a way. However, this too is where you must provide this divine love that is once again flowing through your consciousness. You must provide this divine love a means, a platform to flow into your multi-bodies and out into the world, your world of relationships, experience, etc. And here is how you do this. Let's first recognize one truth. You cannot truly affect or change your personal life experiences without first changing what is in your consciousness. For this reason, many initiates upon spiritual paths recognize they must continuously seek to achieve and express higher and higher states of consciousness. And to do so, there must be some emptying, clearing of former beliefs and traumas and hurts and injuries, and purification of the human individualized consciousness. And by the way, the best way to do this is by entering the Master Great Germain's violet purifying flames for 15 minutes once a day, with the desire that his sacred fire purify your thoughts and feelings and purify your individualized consciousness. Now, you can find lots of the Master's Violet Purifying Flame mantras in the Academy, as well as other schools of wisdom on the planet as well. The purpose of using a sacred fire mantra, which is a call that you make to the Master and his angels, is to be in the pillar of the sacred fire for up to 15 minutes to cleanse and purify your consciousness. With this purification of your consciousness and meditations dedicated to making yourself a channel, a conduit of divine love, then that divine love begins to flow through your individualized consciousness because it has become purified. And from there, as that divine love is flowing once again into your consciousness, from there we must get that love into your mind, heart, body, and out into your world of relationships and experience. Again, I say, this requires a means. The means to accomplish this is to make a conscious choice to express unconditional love and forgiving love to everyone, to everything in this world. Now let's get clear here. There are people in the world who are up to no good. People in your world who you might say are destructive and even downright sinister. Your world is full of too many psychopaths, people who just don't care about anyone or anything. And so you might ask me, am I to pour unconditional love or forgiving love to them? Take a deep breath. Yes is the answer. I urge you to remember the words of Christ. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, precious heart, right in there in those words, Christ was not judging those individuals, those criminals. He loved them unconditionally, and his love was a forgiving love. Christ's love was not full of judgment, and Christ's love did not excuse the behavior of those criminals he was speaking of. Christ knew the laws of the universe. Maybe you should remind yourselves of them. That these individuals who were acting destructively, he knew that they would face their own karmic debt for what they had done or were doing. Christ also knew that by his love, by his words to the Father, that his love and desire for forgiveness might actually change the ways and the behaviors of those individuals. Now, sometimes that change happens quickly, and sometimes it does not happen until their next life incarnation. So, precious heart, You cannot hold judgment against others and at the same time practice unconditional love or forgiving love. It does not work that way. Know that every person's state of consciousness and behavior determines how the laws of our universe acts in their lives. You must teach yourselves how to declare that you are not in alignment with the actions of some people, while at the same time offer those people unconditional love and forgiving love. Why should this be easy now for you to do? Why? Because now you know the truth of your existence, the truth of your spiritual identity. And you know that the truth of everyone else too is the same spiritual identity, regardless if they are the most loving, wonderful people or if they have chosen to use their lives destructively. Remember, beloved hearts, most humanity, not yet, know not who they are. They have no idea of their true spiritual identity or the source of their existence, but now you do. So if there was ever an opportunity to practice unconditional and forgiving love, considering everything that's going on in the outer world, now is that time. You don't have to be present or in the company of destructive people or those who are initiating evil plans against humanity. You can do this in your home. Practice sending out this unconditional love and forgiving love to your friends and family first. Sending this out to your work colleagues, to the people who live in your towns, villages, or cities. Think about those responsible for crimes against humanity. And yes, take a few moments and offer them unconditional and forgiving love. No, beloveds, that this is not because you approve of them, but because you know the truth. And you see everyone and everything in this world as an opportunity to say, I love you without conditions. And the love I offer you is forgiving love. Because I know the truth. I know you're a spiritual being. I know you are a soul, regardless of the way that you are behaving in this world. Try practicing this for a few minutes each day. You are setting your own life free. By doing so, you are allowing the divine love that you are now receiving from Source down through your consciousness to find expression in your minds, your hearts, your feelings, your physical body, your relationships, and the experience of your lives. You precious hearts, know not yet the fullness of divine love that is part of divine consciousness. And the world certainly knows not of this divine love at all. And the only way you can prepare yourself to manifest, to materialize this divine love in your life, in yourself, is to start pouring unconditional and forgiving love to everything and everyone. Once you set this into motion, you have then opened the door wide for the divine love that is now flowing through your consciousness from the source of your beingness, for that divine love to enter your minds, hearts, and bodies. And I urge you to remember that divine love is the law of fulfillment. Do this, and in turn, you will be cultivating a greater integrity of living your true spiritual identity. It's not enough to know intellectually your true spiritual identity. You must be given every means and assistance to live your true spiritual identity. And integrity is the way. And love is the fulfillment of that integrity. As you will do this, as you continue your journey of enlightenment on the earth, to have that balance of divine consciousness, divine light, divine love, acting yourself or your life, and be a conduit for that to come forth into the world. Then each of you will truly make a difference in this world. And that divine consciousness flowing through your individual consciousness will reveal to you the rightful vision that your life is asking you to hold. A vision for humanity, a vision of this new golden age, a vision of the light revealing and dispelling all darkness in this world. I am committed to assisting each of you to become the love of God that always fulfills. If you have not yet, I ask you to consider to join me in my Tree of Life class that you can subscribe to on the Radiant Rose Academy website. That is the Tree of Life class, the most direct path to Christ consciousness. My dear friends of love's eternal presence, try this out. Namaste, namaste, namaste.